Have you ever opened up a company's financial report and just felt lost? Like you're trying to read a language you've never seen before? Well, we're going to change that today. We are taking a real report from Adani Total Gas, and we're going to break it down into a story that actually makes sense. So forget the jargon, let's focus on what these numbers are really trying to tell us.
Because that's really the secret, isn't it? These reports, they're not just boring spreadsheets. Nope, they are a narrative, a story about a company's health, where it's been, and where it's going. So for the next few minutes, think of us as financial detectives. Our mission, to find the story hidden deep inside the data.
So, where does any good investigation begin? You might think you start at the beginning, but with finance, we often start at the end, with the bottom line. It all comes down to the simplest but most important question you can ask. After all the bills are paid, is the company actually making any money? That magic number is called the net profit.
Okay, let's set the scene. We're winding the clock back to the third quarter of 2018. Back then, Adani Total Gas reported a net profit of 45.5 crores. Now, if you're not familiar, 1 crore is just 10 million rupees, so we're talking about 455 million rupees. This number is our starting point. It's a snapshot in time. Just lock that number in your head.
Now, let's jump forward in our time machine to the second quarter of 2024. That net profit, it's now 178.1 crores. Whoa, just take a second to let that sink in. We went from 45.5 to 178.1. That is a massive jump. We're talking nearly a 300% increase. This isn't just steady growth, this is explosive. And right away, that's our first major clue that something really big has been going on with this company.
A jump like that is seriously impressive, but it doesn't tell us the how or the why. To really understand what happened, we've got to pop the hood and look at the engine. You see, profit, at its core, is actually pretty simple. It's just about the money coming in versus the money going out.
All right, let's dissect that huge second quarter result from 2024. To figure out how they landed on that 178.1 crore profit, we first have to see how much money they brought in through the front door.
And here it is. This is the big one. This is the money in. Their revenue from operations is all the cash they made from their main business, which for them is selling natural gas. So in just a 3-month period, they brought in over 1,315 crores just from doing what they do. That is a ton of income flowing into the company.
So, where did all that cash go? Well, this chart here tells that story perfectly. This is the money out. And just look at that enormous piece of the pie. Cost of materials. It's a staggering chunk of their total spending. And what is that? Well, it's the cost of the natural gas they have to buy before they can sell it to customers. This tells us something absolutely critical. This company's profitability is hugely dependent on the global price of natural gas. Everything else, paying employees, financing, it's all tiny in comparison.
Okay, so we've looked at the flow of money, right? The income and expenses over a few months. But what if we want to get a snapshot of the company's financial health at one single moment in time? For that, we need to turn to a different document, something called the balance sheet.
Let's make this super simple. Just think about your own finances for a second. Your assets are all the things you own that have value, like your house, your car, maybe some savings. Your liabilities, on the other hand, are what you owe, your mortgage, a car loan. It's exactly the same for a company, just, with a few more zeros at the end. And here's the cool part about a balance sheet. It always has to balance. Assets must always equal liabilities plus equity. Now, equity is basically the company's net worth. It's the value that belongs to the shareholders. And you can see right here for Adani, they've got almost 6,800 crores in assets, and that's funded by about 2,900 crores in what they owe, their liabilities, and 3,900 crores in shareholder money, or equity. What this tells us is that the company is relying more on its own money than on borrowed money, and that's generally a really strong sign of financial health.
So now that we understand these individual snapshots, let's do what all good detectives do and zoom out. The real story isn't just in one quarter, it's in the trend over many years. This is where we connect all the dots and see the full picture of their growth.
And wow, this chart just lays it all out there, doesn't it? Take a look at the revenue. That's the money coming in from their main business. Back in late 2018, it was just shy of 500 crores. Fast forward to 2024, and it has absolutely skyrocketed to over 1,300 crores for the same 3-month window. I mean, you don't need a finance degree to see what this chart is screaming at you. This is a company that has been in a period of aggressive, sustained expansion.
So there you have it. We started with a single profit number, and now, by looking at trends over time, we've pieced together the financial story of Adani Total Gas. We followed the clues, we've looked at the evidence, and we've seen the big picture start to emerge from all that data.
And that, right there, is the most important thing to take away from all of this. We've seen what happened. Profits shot up, revenue soared. But really understanding a financial report isn't about finding all the answers. It's about learning to ask the right questions. Why did their revenue grow so incredibly fast? Was it because they expanded into new cities? Was it because gas prices went up? A brilliant new strategy? The numbers show you where to look, and that, my friends, is where the real investigation truly begins.